happy, even though she was. I was wanting to be like, but I was like, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I see. I see. We're live. We're live.
Oh,
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Y'all Not Ready for That Conversation. My name is Lawrence White
What's up? My name is Chris Theodat.
and Ariel.
And I'm Ariel. I had to make sure that you weren't gonna get feedback from my Facebook.
Oh, from Facebook.
Yeah, I was trying to shut it off.
No, it's all good. And we have a guest with us today, a special guest. Uh, you've seen her in the comments many a week. She's a good friend to all of us here, and without further ado, Michaela,
hey guys.
Hi, Michaela.
thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us this week. We really do appreciate it. Um, yeah. So for anyone that is watching, anyone in the comments, any women, um, we want we specifically want to hear from you guys this week. So if there are any concerns that you have, like any questions or anything you just want to get off your chest, go ahead and put it in the chat. We will bring it up. We will talk about it. Um, when when I one of the things that kind of led me to have the idea for this podcast was this topic. Which I just put it simply as protect Black women, but really we can put anything in that spot. It could be protect them, listen to them, trust them, be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that they need, like it's there in that title. Because a lot of times you would see women post something on Twitter or somewhere, just somewhere on social media, and they'd be like, well, y'all not ready for that conversation. And I'd be like, but we need to have it. Like, I can't have the conversation for you. Like, and it does me no good to learn if y'all are having the conversation without me. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what this is all about. And I figured with everything that had gone on last week, between um, the justice system's failure of handling Breonna Taylor, and then also Tory Lanez and his foolishness. Um, and that, I mean, I just felt like it was time to go ahead and hop into this conversation. So yeah, hopefully that's the most you'll hear from me. This episode, I will, be going back and forth into the comments and between you guys. Um, yeah, so this week we're really going to be looking to our guest and our co-host Ariel to let us know how are you guys feeling. I mean, uh, one of the things that I just mentioned, the whole thing with Breonna Taylor last week. What are your feelings towards that, especially since it's been almost a week and you've had time to kind of process things. What have you guys been thinking?
Michaela, I'm gonna let you go.
I was gonna be like, you can go first. Honestly, it just felt really heavy. Like, I don't think it'll ever not feel heavy because she didn't get justice. And we always talk about, like, people always like to justify, well, this person did this, or this person was a gang member, or this person was stealing. Like, she was literally in her bed sleep, the like most innocent thing you could be doing, and she was murdered, and she still didn't get justice. So it's just kind of like, are we ever gonna get justice? And it's like never not going to be. Anytime I think of her, see her, hear her name, it's always going to be like a fresh wound to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ariel?
Yeah. I think that above like everything else, it was the hardest one because I wasn't surprised. Like I didn't have to pay attention to what was going on that heavily, even though, like, of course I paid attention, but like I didn't always have to be looking to see what CNN was saying or, you know, what was coming out here and there, because I knew what the outcome was going to be, because I know the way the system works for people that look like me. And like having to watch like people's debates and, you know, going back and forth and just kind of being like, dang, man, like it's rough, especially again, like I said, knowing that could have been me, that could have been Michaela, like it could have been anybody that I know who's just working their job, doing what they can, and being told that an inanimate object is worth more than you. Like, I think that is really kind of what hit me the most. Like, well, yeah, so I'll back up. Like, I wasn't surprised, but that hurt me like more than anything else. To have to listen and say, wait, the wall got justice? The wall. Like, it's bad enough that animals get more justice than we do. But now a wall? Like, that's how I felt.
And it wasn't even the black neighbor's wall, it was the white neighbor's wall.
White neighbor's wall.
Got justice. The black neighbors, they were like, who cares about y'all's apartments that we shot bullets into?
Nope.
Yeah.
But Sally and Sarah and John could have got hurt. So justice needs to be served.
Protect all Madisons.
Protect all the Madisons. And like, and I think the thing that, which I know we'll get into more later, that just made it more heart-wrenching is the fact that they used a black man to be the one to, you know, despite, I know, Chris, yep, I know, we know, despite whatever he really is, his skin color still is what it is. His mama was black, his daddy was black, he came out, he got black skin. And guess what? With whatever information that they keep saying that's coming out, with the conversation about the ballistics not lining up with what he said, all some kind of stuff, guess who's going to get thrown on the bus first? That black man. Because no matter what he thinks he is when he looks in the mirror, because I'm pretty sure when he look in the mirror, he see this. But guess what? That man black, like, and he will forever be the first one. Like, if you pick straws, he's always getting the short end of the stick. Like,
First one to fall on the sword.
first one to fall. So I don't know who he thinks he's protecting. Like, you would rather protect these white gentlemen who really don't give 2 cents about you over your sister?
You know his family line, right?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy when I found out about that.
That
Talking about his wife, right?
His wife.
Yeah. So that young Stephen is married to was it Mitch McConnell's granddaughter?
Yeah.
So you know the scene in Get Out where they flash the camera in dude's eyes. He's that dude.
Oh.
Pre-Flash.
Pre-Flash.
No. Somebody get a camera. Help the brother.
So all right, so let's kind of talk about that there. Like Michaela, I mean, it's not like last week was the first time we saw him. We knew what he was on, like, kind of this whole time. Because I believe, like, back when the protests were still kind of fresh, I believe he was, like, having a party or something. Like, he was having a garden party at his house.
Oh, yeah. I saw
or something like that I remember seeing. So, what...
A garden party. It's just so funny to say.
I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like something a white family would do, have a garden party.
So that Flash scene happened at a garden
party.
Yeah. All right, so who wasn't on their job? Who was supposed to be at that party with the camera?
They weren't invited yet. They didn't need new blood.
But yeah, so what does that do to you, like your emotions and everything, to see a black man with power um act like that? You know, whether it's him, I can't remember his name. I see my camera
Yeah, it was like,
starting to act up.
you know why? Because we're talking about protecting black women. They don't like it.
Oh no.
The FBI is like, nope.
Shut it down.
FBI trying to shut me down. Nah, yo, Mr. Agent, Mr. FBI agent, please just give me a few minutes.
Please.
But yeah, so if I have to hop off or shut the camera down for a second, y'all keep going. But what does that do to y'all to see a black man with power act like that, whether it's him or just any of them?
Well, when I see that, first of all, like him specifically, I'm just like, all skin folk and kinfolk. That's like my first thought. Like he's not for us. Like you can tell that. But I think it hurts even more. Like I would expect that from him. But it would hurt even more someone who you would consider kinfolk to abuse their power and abuse a black woman. That's what hurts more. It's like, wait, you say you're pro-black, you're for black people, but then you're using your power to step on and abuse black women and push them down. Like that hurts more to me than seeing someone like him do what I expect him to do.
So can I ask about the way the law is set up, and I will take it to that state particularly, right? And I guess most states, this whole qualified immunity thing. So we understand. Okay, so cop goes in, shoots the place up, has a shootout with the boyfriend, who didn't realize. That's another thing. Didn't realize they were cops. You know, he says they didn't knock. The cop says they did knock. They have a no knock warrant, but then they said they knocked.
Yeah.
They that whole thing, right? So now what happens? So we understand that to be. So Breonna was killed as an act of what was happening on duty.
Mm-hmm.
So because it was happening on duty and they were doing an investigation, it just happened on duty, which is why they got the wrongful death lawsuit, but can't seem to bring charges on them. So let's speak to that. So how can you win a wrongful death settlement, but nobody was responsible for the wrongful death?
It doesn't make sense. Literally, that doesn't make sense to me at all. You give people money because we accidentally killed you, and then you're gonna say, well, the police officers that killed you, that we're not gonna charge them. They didn't. That's just what happens when you're a police officer. Sometimes you accidentally murder people, so we can't hold you accountable.
The sad thing is, though, it's the way the law is set up. So criminal court versus oh Lord, I should know. Civil court. I should know this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mansplain you. I'm gonna go sit back.
No, I needed you to. My brain was like, we threw all that out when you left Pitt. Like, so much for having an administration of justice major. Jesus. Anyways, it's set up differently. So that's why you can see people go to criminal court, get off, and still be charged in civil court, because it's the way the laws are set up. They're not set up the same, but most people don't realize that. So they're like, well, if you said that, they're guilty over here enough to give them money, how come they're not guilty on that side? Well, you go back to that whole reasonable doubt and, the way it's set up, as if everyone's not like, yeah, that makes sense, throwing it out the window. We could do that because it's the way the law is set up. So you have more grounds and more ability to get justice, unfortunately, from the monetary side. We'll give you a few dollars. We don't mind that. We'll throw some money at you. we did you wrong. We're sorry. Here's some money. But when it comes to like convictions,
But it's funny, right? So is the money even an admission of guilt? It's just here, we're gonna give you money.
no,
Stop talking about it.
that's it.
Yeah.
You have given enough point for us to say, okay, shut up. Like, take this money and shut up.
So
Because also, like, you know, of course they can continue to fight if they want. They can, you know, do what they got to do. You could always fight. You could take it up to the Supreme Court. But when it comes to like the civil case and everything, it's like, all right, we gave you this money. So now because we said, yeah, we agree, here's this money, like we're gonna settle this and make a settlement, like civil court, it's done. Like we gave you your money. That's that. And a lot of times, unfortunately, people will use that. People who don't know better will use that to say, like, well, you got justice, like you won in the civil court. So you won somewhere. Like, no, I didn't.
No.
Yeah. And they'll act as if getting, especially a settlement the size that her family had received, they'll justify it in their mind as if that amount of money should stop the pain of losing that loved one.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, which I don't think. Yeah, I mean, they have to be people that have never lost someone that they were close to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way you can. I mean, unless you're just heartless, which I will leave right there.
And shout out to the comment section.
Yeah.
See, we got Clevin in here. What's up, Clev? He said,
Okay.
yes, Chris. And shout out to Anthony. We see he has arrived. So
busting in like Kool-Aid Man once again.
Yep, we're ready for this. But
I got something to say.
He had something to say. But he did bring up a good point about the OJ case. Exactly. That is exactly.
Yeah, I was trying to I thought of the OJ case, but I couldn't remember too many details behind it.
Yeah, so he, you know, listen, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. You know what I'm saying? So that happened in the criminal case, but yet in civil court, he still did have to pay the families.
Same with Oscar Grant, I believe. Civil court, they got money, but criminal
nothing.
Money. Yeah.
So I guess my question is, right, so like, you know, where do we start changing these laws? Because that's what has to happen, right? We do have to change laws to remove some of these governmental protections from police. Listen, in my job, if I make a mistake, someone gets hurt, I get fired.
Same.
You know what I mean? And anyone else's job, you make a mistake, someone gets hurt, there's some discipline that has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we change the laws to reflect that?
Look at the case, like even in like the case with the woman who was messing up the lab work for the cases.
Annie Ducon. Mm-hmm.
And how everybody, and I know because I know some people who were working there, it didn't matter if you, as long as your name was on that payroll, they were like, if you were on payroll between this time and this time, I'm so sorry, everybody's getting let go.
Yo,
that's how we're covering it.
I didn't know they let everybody go.
What's fun, yo?
Everybody getting gone. Like
it's funny how you know people who got let go. I got people who got let out of jail because they were like, Annie Ducon had my joint. Yeah. Mad people came out of jail for that.
Yep.
And it wasn't just her. It was I forgot the other young lady's name because she was Annie was in Worcester, I believe, and the other young lady was in Boston.
No,
and
I think
Annie was in Boston. The other lady was in Amherst.
Yeah, that's what it was.
No, I remember the other lady was in Boston because she actually graduated from Latin Academy.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I remember that specific. I can't remember her name, and she was there at the same time I was there, but I think she graduated like a year either the year I got there or my second year there. But yeah, I do remember her being in Boston.
Oh, I think she was in Boston and she might have transferred to Amherst.
Oh, okay. Yeah, either way, either way, many people throughout the state were free.
Yep.
Yes.
Messing stuff up. But she's not they're not cops. So
but at the same time, right, a lot of that was being covered over by, again, the attorney general,
Mm-hmm.
who was, trying to look good, because the problem is when you have something this big on your record, it follows you.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
AGs are elected officials. So now, in order to be re-elected, you got to have the least amount of foolishness on your record as possible.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm convinced, and I know they're probably going to pull this. I'm sorry. I'm saying it anyways. I'm convinced the commissioner retired when he did because he knew it was coming down the pipeline. And he was like, it's been good.
Which commissioner?
Who?
The one before Gross.
Yeah.
You know I'm not good with names. I need locations. Are we talking about here?
All I know.
He was here, but the problem is I can't describe him because the way I'm gonna describe him is kind of messed up.
Me too, and that's what I was like. I wanna. Somebody in the comments help us out.
Didn't the AG also retire in the middle of, not retire, but she like went and did something else in the middle of the whole scandal as well?
She ran for president.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was her name?
Maura Healey.
It was Maura Healey. Yeah, it was Maura Healey. She ran for president. Like, all right, fam. It's like,
wow.
Yeah, like, all right, go sit down.
But all right, so talking about the AG, I was, for some reason I couldn't find this because I was looking, I was looking up Old Boy's position to see if it was an electable position or if it was an appointment. And I was trying to
Sorry. Anthony said it. It's in the comments. What me and Chris wanted to say. It's in the comments.
So the people watching this,
mine was worse.
For the people watching this on the replay or possibly on YouTube that can't see our comments right now, he said, "Do look like one of the goblins from Harry Potter." It still doesn't help me remember who this dude is, but that's funny as crap. Because I do know some people that look like goblins. But I'm gonna let that rock. So, and I know this is more of an opinion question than a fact question, but the reason why I started looking up whether or not the position was electable or not, because I was wondering if the next election cycle for that position, sorry. Comment to Wallet. So the next election cycle for that position, do you guys think it's possible to have someone elected in Kentucky that can go back and kind of get those charges out there? Because I know double jeopardy means you can't be charged for the same thing twice. But if you haven't been charged for something and there's no statute of limitations on murder, do you think a new AG would be able to go back and charge them later on?
I believe they'd have to have like some new evidence, like something new that comes up that would allow them to retry the case. Like possibly these ballistic results or whatever, like whatever comes up.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was wondering about, but then I was like, that's not really what the point of the conversation tonight is. Don't really want to stay on this for too long unless you guys want to. It's y'all's party. We just here, we just here to make sure y'all straight.
Justice.
Because my next question, or the next question in my head, was wondering about these sealed grand jury testimonies that were requested from a judge, and what is that going to reveal, and if that would, kind of give power to further charges. But yeah, was there anything? Was there something that you were about to go to, Ariel?
About what?
With what we were just talking about, like.
Oh no.
Okay, for a second I thought I saw you about to say something, but I forgot when it was. All right, so then let's kind of shift to the other thing that kind of led to this discussion. Every time I pause before I say Tory Lanez' name, it's because I want to say something wild, disrespectful. But I'm also trying, like, the way how someone else acts shouldn't make us change how we act. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to, respect Black people, period, I gotta hold to that, even though he's a goofball. Respectfully.
Well, his name is Daystar, like the channel.
Like Satan?
Mm.
Never mind. That's not this conversation.
Wait, isn't Daystar that Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Moving on.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's not this conversation.
Is that next week's pod? All right.
So, Michaela, what are your overall thoughts about that? And I'm keeping it general like that because, like I said, I want to give you guys a space to kind of get it off your chest. And once again, for anyone that is watching in the chat, thank you. Even if you haven't said anything yet, we want to hear from you guys, especially the women. If you have anything that you want to say, please go ahead and put it in the chat, and we will talk about it. But
Wait,
yes,
quick question.
What's up?
Wait, did any of y'all hear his project?
No, I'm not listening to anything
Yeah.
Tory Lanez is putting out. Not that I listened to it before, but now I'm actively boycotting.
I don't think there was. I can't name one song that he's made. Period. I know nothing about his music, and I realized that when I was like, I'm not listening to this, and I was like, wait, I don't think I've listened to any of his songs.
I wouldn't have listened before.
Right.
Yeah, so I just went back. I just started listening to KB. Hold on, we have a question in the comments.
Daniel doesn't know what Tory Lanez did.
Yeah.
All right. So when did this happen? Back in like June?
This happened like a few months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago. So do you want to lay out the entire story, I guess?
Yes.
Yes. A Black woman asks for clarification. Who are we to deny?
This is true. Grant Black women wishes. We'll do that. So Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion are at the Kylie Jenner's house or something like that. They're all having a good time supposedly. It gets later in the night. There's a shooting. Apparently, Meg Thee Stallion gets shot in the foot. And what, according to Meg, what she says is that, she gets shot in the foot. Tory actively tried to shoot her in the foot. When the police came, she didn't want to say she was shot because she wanted to protect him, and because they're all Black, so they didn't want to be like, they didn't want a scene to happen or anything crazy because of the current climate. So even in her victimhood, she's protecting a Black man. There's a thing. All right. She gets to the hospital. I think she has like surgery on her foot and all that stuff. They both say nothing for weeks. Finally, she breaks the silence. Says, "Yes, he shot me. He meant to shot. He meant to shoot me. It was malicious." And he's running around telling people that I'm faking it and all this. So now, according to what she's saying, she faked her entire experience. Uh, she, his people are sending press out and sending, uh, emails to news sites and blogs saying she's making it up. He didn't really shoot her. Something else happened. She made it up. There's no evidence of her being shot. All that good stuff. So fast forward, Megs then puts out evidence. She shows her foot. She shows, the procedures. Then the medical records come out. All that good stuff. Now we fast forward to Breonna Taylor. We fast forward to Breonna Taylor. And the grand jury deliberation coming out. And right after that, I think because the deliberation came out, Thursday? Was it Wednesday or Thursday?
I think it was Wednesday.
And then his album, airing out all his laundry and Meg's laundry comes out Friday. And I haven't heard it, so I can't really tell you what's on it. But from what the blogs are saying, it is a whole lot of mess. And he's denying things, and he's saying some stuff about Megan and her situation. Basically opening his big mouth, telling his story right now when we're trying to focus on justice for this Black woman. Did I get all the points?
You hit all the points.
Thank you. I'm going back on mute.
Oh. So, how do I feel? This whole thing, first of all, I'm disgusted at the response that everyone had towards Megan, right? I feel like a lot of them was like, at first it was like kind of sympathetic and kind of like, oh, what happened? Like, and then when she was like, Tory shot me, then people were like, are you sure Tory shot you? It wasn't an accident. And then Tory comes out with his album talking about my side of the story. Now all of a sudden, like, you didn't really get shot. He didn't shoot you on purpose. Like, how did you hit no tendons or bones? How, like, the foot's so small, there's so many tendons and bones. He had to hit something if he really shot you. Like, to the point where they had to release medical records to state, like, the doctor said she had a gunshot wound. They went in, did surgery, took out shrapnel, and after they did all that and assessed, they still said she had a gunshot wound. Like, why did her medical records have to come out for people to believe her? And you still have people who are like, nah, if she really did get shot, I guess, but it was probably just an accident. And Tory Lanez has taken no accountability at all. Like, the most accountability he's taken is, I was just too drunk, or I was really drunk. That was it. So no accountability at all.
Which he texted her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I
just said he texted her.
That was it. Yeah, that was his apology.
Yeah.
He texted her, "Oh, I was too drunk."
Too drunk.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did hear that.
And like, I know for a fact, if Kylie Jenner's pinky toe was grazed by that bullet, that man would have been deported to Canada already. He would have been in jail. They would have taken all his money. Yep. None of these streaming platforms would be allowing him to release his music or even keep his social media page. Like, I just know if this was Kylie Jenner, the response and the energy would be completely different. They would have believed her off the bat. She wouldn't have had to go show her wound on camera. They wouldn't have had to release her medical records. Like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely. That people just can't believe Black women when they say something. Like, it happens with sexual assault too. They'd be like, this prominent Black man in the community sexually assaulted me. You're a liar. You're not telling the truth. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah, because if we even go back, like, if we think about the way you know, with the Kardashian family, when they get down, when they're wronged, everyone is going to drag whoever wronged them. You remember the situation with the friend and everybody coming out dragging her to high heavens till finally she was like, wait. Let me go get my uncle. Let me go get my fam so I can tell my side of the story. Then everyone was like, "Oh, you got Will Smith on your side? Okay, never mind. Never mind. We gonna back up." But like, if it weren't for the fact that she then and yes, I'm glad that Will was like, nah, like let's get her on. Like this is my people. Let her speak her piece.
And Black women were like, nah, we're not having this.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
look who y'all need to at least get your story across.
Exactly.
Y'all need a whole Will Smith.
You need a whole Will Smith, a whole medical records, a whole everything. Just to, when it was the other way around, before anyone knew all that, it was like, oh yeah, she a hoe, she this, she that, because a Kardashian said something. Like, okay. But going back to the situation with Meg, the fact that people were like basically talking about her like, you're just trying to get clout. Like, you're doing this for popularity. You're doing this because you want your name to be seen. You probably did something if he did shoot you for him to shoot you. Like, what did you say to him? Oh, and I think the thing that bothers me the most is like the narrative of like, you probably said no. Like,
Wait, what do you mean? You probably said no
like relationship wise. Like,
yeah. There's this whole love triangle thing. Like Corey's in love with Kylie, so he was flirting with her, and Megan got mad, which is why it led them to get like heated. And and she did try to walk away.
Yeah.
He shot her as she was walking away.
And so because of that, like, that's why he shot her, like because of the whole love triangle. So you mean to tell me, like, because I don't want to be a part of any kind of love situation with you, I'm deserving of getting my foot shot? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
No.
And I think a report said he told her to dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
like
please tell me that's not the truth.
That's what they're saying. A report. I saw that. It was like he said like dance monkey or something like that.
No, it was like dance itch.
Yeah, something. Either way, whatever he said, itch, monkey, all of it. It's all rude. Like, but he said basically like dance.
What is this dude, Yosemite Sam? I mean, I'm sure they're probably the same height, but dang.
Nah. Yeah, it's true.
Nah, yo. So all right, so I was trying Kombucha girl. Yeah, I was trying to still be respectful, but yeah, I think that's out the window. I think that's out the window for this dude.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, so we got a comment here. Kylie would have pressed charges. Maybe.
It's a white woman, and they would have gone through with those.
Yeah, so I wanted to let you guys finish first before I went there because I do have a question attached to that.
Okay.
Shout out to Chris. I remember him commenting before, so thank you for.
That's my cousin. Love you, cuz.
And he also said, I think there is definitely missing pieces to the story. Yeah, I'm sure there may be, but I think we have the main points that we need at this point. But yeah, so like I said, I had a question that I wanted to ask you guys attached to the, Kylie would have pressed charges thing, because I know that when Meg first gave her statement, she explained why she didn't press charges or say there was a gun or anything like that, which makes perfect sense. At least it makes perfect sense to me, because you know how it is. You can be in a room full of people not doing anything wrong, but just because you're black with the person that's doing wrong, if somebody comes in and starts wilding, they're gonna wild on you too. You know what I'm saying? For an example, our like Ariel, me and Ariel was talking last week about um, well, on the show we were talking last week about the what was the title of last week's thing? Um, Community impact, and we were talking about this group that we were a part of. The 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 organizer that kind of brought us all together, you know, cool dude, you know what I'm saying? But he's not black. He was white. You know what I'm saying? And we would go into some places, and he would, uh, as well intentioned as he would ruffle some feathers, and then when he and I would talk later on, he'd be like, "Yeah, man, you gotta, get riled up with me." I'm like, "No, I can't. I don't have the luxury of getting riled up with you, because if something happens and someone calls the police, I have a way higher chance of being arrested, regardless of what I'm doing, than you do." You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just using that as an example of understanding why she wouldn't have done that. But to kind of spread this conversation out a little bit, my question is for Ariel and Michaela and anyone else that's watching, what is it that in your opinion, what is it that women have, like black women specifically have, that kind of keeps them there, like, yeah, you're doing me wrong, but I still need to protect you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, where do you think that comes from?
Most of it comes from the fact that out of everyone, I believe we know the most that nobody else is going to protect you like I can protect you. Nobody else is going to stick up for you and look out for you like I am going to. From history, like down the line, we know how society has treated um, people of color, men of color. And so if I'm not upholding my black brother, and making sure that things aren't escalated to something that it shouldn't be, because it very well could be, like Chris was saying, it could be that there are those missing pieces that, it was something that happened. It was a disagreement that didn't mean to go that far. So I'm not going to put you in jail. I'm not going to subject you to a system that I know is not for you because of something that's really not that serious. Because even though a gunshot wound is serious, like we understand as black people, like a debate between me and my brother is a debate between me and my brother. I don't need to get the public involved in a debate with me and my brother. Like, I don't, that's just how it is. Like, we're family, we keep it with family. And so that is usually the mindset that, you know, I believe we try to go in for. I'm not going to speak for every black woman, but I know, at the end of the day, like, we want to see ours win despite all of the foolishness that may happen, despite the love that may not be returned to us. We still want to see us win. And we know that we still need black men, and too many of them keep getting put in jail for foolishness and things that are stupid. So the best thought is, I'm just not going to say anything. And so, but then unfortunately, what happened, people wanted to come out and now flip it upside down and make her look like the villain, even though she was the one who didn't say anything, because she had all the power in her hand. She could have been like, yep, that fool shot me, take him away. She could have,
Yeah.
and it's very possible that nothing would have come of it. But it it's the thing that she chose. No, I'm not gonna subject you to this system. So I hope that made sense. Michaela,
I also agree, and I think also it's a little bit of not wanting to be the one to be blamed if it does go left, right? So if we're, say it's a domestic situation, we're getting to an argument, things are getting heated, and I call the cops on you, the cops come and they shoot up our house and you die. First thing they're gonna be like is, well, why'd you call the police on him? Especially in, like, as a Black woman, you know, like if I call the police on this man and this goes left, I am going to bear the brunt of this. Like, first of all, I'm just gonna feel guilty myself because I would feel guilty that someone died. But then the whole, your family, his family, all your friends are gonna be like, why'd you call the police? You knew this was a possibility. Like, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of Black women don't call the police. And, you know, like the statistic is that the number one killer of Black women is Black men because of domestic violence situations. And they don't call the police because they know it can go worse if you call the police. Because we know, like, the justice system is not for Black men, and that I could end up murdered too if I call the police to come help me. And like, there are plenty of situations where Black women have called the police to help them, and the police end up in jail, or they end up harmed or victims of police brutality. So it's just, that's, I think, another reason why the police are not called, or we're just like, no, we can handle this, we got this, this is like a home situation, don't worry about us.
The stat you just brought up, or the point you just brought up about, you know, and it bothers me so much that I can't even really repeat it the same way you said it, even though you just said it. But you said that most Black women, or Black men, is the cause of death for a lot of Black women. I'll just say it that way because that was the easiest way for me to do it. That's gonna. No. So that's taking me to this question earlier than I really wanted to, but the thought of that is so crazy to me. Not in a way like I don't believe it, because I can believe it. So I guess I'll say it's like it hurts me to realize how true that can be, right? All right, so I'll ask this question first, actually. So since we know that is a major problem, like the idea that you guys or you women cannot go to get the protection that you need because of the people that are supposed to be protecting you, and it's been like that for a long time. How would you like to see that change? Like, I guess in any way, like, I mean, I don't even know if I'm asking the right question with this. Like I'm really kind of floored by it in general. Do you have an idea of what I'm trying to ask? Because
I'm not sure.
I was like,
not really.
Yeah, I mean, no, because I'm like that, and I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but like that junk like really just messed with me, right? Because like Ariel, like you said earlier, when you were talking about Black women protecting Black men, like you said no one's gonna protect us like y'all can. And I know, as a Black man, no one's gonna protect y'all like we can. But there's so many of us that don't. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many of us, and I was even gonna say there's so many of us that can't, but there's just so many of us that don't. We can, but we won't. You know what I'm saying? So I'll completely disregard the question that I was trying to figure out how to get to, because I'm sure it'll come back up later.
Well, if I can say something while
you're
go ahead. Thinking about that point. And just thinking about how you were saying, you know, there's like, yes, nobody can protect us like our black men, or should, you know, be able to protect us like our black men. That's the way that it should be. But I feel like the reason why it hasn't been that way is when you look at um like class structure and like, you know,
Okay.
that the race class structure, when you put everything together, unfortunately the black woman is at the bottom of everything. So you have white man, white woman, black man, black woman. We're, you know, we're at the bottom of the pile. And so when you have that situation, like when you're at I like to think about it like a pyramid. So my friend from college, Jen Blem, I'm not sure if any of you all have seen her post. I shared a clip that she was talking about, you know, it's proven that black women like are known to spread the wealth around. So if we put the money in a black woman's hands, like it's known that she is going to spread the wealth. She is going to spread the love. And I think about it because I think about it like a base of, if we're at the bottom, we're the base of that pyramid. That's the widest section. Like we see where it needs to be distributed. If you're at the top, you're only really thinking about this small portion, which is just you. But at the bottom, you have to hold up the weight. Like you have to hold the weight to keep it steady. If that base isn't there, that pyramid's going to fall apart. So we literally are the backbone of this country. Like if we don't spread it around, if we don't spread the love, like things are going to fall apart. It shouldn't be how it is, but I feel like that is kind of the position that we ended up having to take. So even though it should be that black men are protecting us and black men are looking out for us, you know, they're they're not seeing that weight distribution and how we're holding up everything. And we need help. Like help us, because it's a pyramid that ain't supposed to be. Like it needs to be dismantled. But at the end of the day, we're at the bottom holding it all together.
Yeah. So that kind of brings up like two things for me. Um, shoot, why did I forget one of them? It reminds me of like I learned about trickle down economics. Like that's not a thing. Like if you put money at the top, it'll never get down to the bottom. You have to, and same with laws, like you have to make laws, you have to make the economy for the people at the bottom, because then the money will go up, or like if these people are freed or are less oppressed by these laws, that will help everybody. So like economics that help black women will end up helping the whole economy more, or like laws that are to let become less oppressed for black women, that'll help everybody. But people, like, for some reason, even though it's proven that that works, some people still think that trickle down is a thing, but it's not. I always think about, like, if something's spilling over, what do? You stop it from spilling over. You don't let it run down and just spill over. But if something's filling up, you want it to fill up to the top most of the time, depending on what it is. That's how I think about it. And then about the black men protecting black women, sometimes I feel like it's about like power. Like sometimes I feel like they think they'll lose their power if they help a black woman do a certain thing, or if they protect the black women and go against the grain of what other men think or feel, that they'll lose the power that they have. Like it's always been a power struggle between black men and black women, and black men have always picked power over protecting and helping black women.
Yeah. Something my grandmother said, shout out to Nana, her Nana wisdom. But something that she said a while back, that had me thinking, because she is like pro black, blackity black, black, like black man, black woman, y'all figure it out, y'all get together and y'all go be black together. Like that's her thing. But something that she said was, if you look at it, no matter what's going on between a white man and a white woman, a white man will always protect a white woman. when it comes to, unfortunately, in the Black community, it's been made where that isn't the case. And so it's been taught, Black man, protect the value of man. So you protect the white man and the white man system because that's what's going to benefit you, when it's really not true.
Or protect your power so you can get to the top, and
Protect
then
your
we'll come
power
back
so-
and help. We'll come back and help you after we
Then
get to the top,
And we'll come
which
back.
they never do.
Yeah, but you want to protect. You want to protect the brotherhood. We're men. You stand by men instead of, no. You protect your family, and so that's that struggle where we should be protected and where we should be looked out for. It's like, no, you got to stick up for the man. This is that man code. This is guy code. All those like different sayings, but it doesn't go the same way because we know Emmett Till. You say something, you step out of line with the white woman, you're done. So,
And she lied.
and she lied. We're not gonna like. Let's not even, because let's start throwing stuff in my own apartment.
Yeah, that, especially since they keep referring to him on Lovecraft Country every week. It's fresh. It's a fresh pain every week. But with
this week's episode, I'm gonna do it after the show because I'm always wired after the show. I can never post it.
Yeah, I might watch it for a third time. But with what you guys were just saying, it was making me think of and this isn't an excuse by any means, but like you guys know how I am. Like I put puzzles together in my head all the time, which is why I can kind of get lost with my words a lot of times because I'm still piecing things together. But I'm wondering if it's like, a lot of us face so much oppression from the outside world, like we bring it home, and of course I'm saying we as in the general because I hope I don't do this, but it's like we feel a lot of weight from the outside world. We come home, and the one person who really needs us to look out for them, we kind of just dump all that on them. You know what I'm saying? And ignoring the fact that, especially now, that like y'all are out in the world as well, so y'all are feeling that same oppression. You know what I'm saying? And just to come back and have us dump it on you, and then for you all to still be strong enough to shake it off and keep going and still give us what we need, like that's crazy. But
actually, I have a point to that. Can I
go ahead.
So I've heard a couple times women say that they're offended when someone calls them strong. Have y'all like felt that, or what do y'all like?
Yeah.
What do y'all feel about that?
Absolutely. I thank you for bringing it up. Because a lot of times it's also an insult, and it comes from insults. It comes from, the like back in slavery time and the images that were put on Black women, and even with like Michelle Obama, with how they painted her to look like the strong Black woman isn't necessarily a positive image. They try to paint it as like, oh, but you all are so strong, but it's that, it has more of like an animalistic play on it. And I know for a while I was called strong. I think I talked about this in my one of my podcast episodes, how it really got under my skin because I realized that they weren't calling me strong in a sense of talking about like how beautiful I was, or how like it really kind of was a play on like the undesirable almost. And so, you're good for everything but being a wife. You're good for everything, but being that one that I want on my arm that I'm proud of to say, isn't she beautiful? Isn't she lovely? So you'll call me everything but beautiful. You'll call me everything but desirable. Like, so that's where that play on strong, it's that like, y'all got it. You're good. You don't need anything. Like that meme where it was like somebody drowning and it's like, like they need help and they just get the high five. Like, you're
Oh,
so strong. Like, no, I need help too. I need love too. I need support too. But you just get the strong stamp and it's like, you're good. We don't have to worry about you. You can handle it. You're fine. And yeah, like I really feel like a lot of that comes from, being like having to be all things for all people all the time. And so it just being like, well, you're good.
yeah, kind of like to play off what Ariel said. A lot of that like strong black woman stuff, like it's a stereotype that developed back in slavery. It was their justification for why black women had to be out in the fields doing this hard labor, and white women could sit on the porch
Mhm.
and not even get up to get a glass of water for herself. And so, and then I think it just kept perpetuating because, they knew the stuff they were putting us through, but yet and still, like the rose that grew from the concrete, we still managed to make much out of little. And so now I'm just like, I'm over that whole like, you're so strong. Like, no, like I need help. I need support. Like Ariel said, we need love too. Like, just because we're strong doesn't mean I saw a quote on Twitter, like, just because you're resilient doesn't mean you're not suffering. I don't want to keep suffering. Don't label me a strong black person. Like, no, label me weak. If you're gonna give me help, label me weak. I'm fine with that. like, like I don't want to go through this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to think that
Help me.
Yeah, exactly. Help
Help
me.
me.
I'm starting to
Help
think
us.
I'm starting to think that we might need to do an episode on like the black family, like period, because there's a lot in what you guys are saying. There's a lot going on in my head. Once again, the whole putting pieces of the puzzle, things like that together. Um, but yeah, like I kind of want to stay, with a focus, main focus on y'all for this conversation. But real quick in the comments, I have to go to my mother's comment,
I'm
and
away.
I dare not say her first name in public. But my shout out to my mother, a black woman. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the black men and all that. She said, "You can, but you don't. A lot take their frustration out on the woman who is doing their best to protect. It should be mutual." My mother is always right.
Yes.
Because she's a black woman.
Yep. And
Listen,
she knows.
Yes. Even when I don't know if she's right yet, she always proves herself right in the long run. Thank you, Mother. I love you. Thank you for teaching me right.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Teaching me right.
But yeah, what'd you say?
No comment.
But yeah, like, so even like her last sentence. Oh, and then she also came back and said amen to both of you ladies. Agreeing
Thank you,
with
Mama
what
White.
you guys were saying. Because my mother is a black woman and she is supportive and she is dang, I was about to say strong.
Exactly. See?
But I know she's strong for a whole nother reason. Like, she raised me and two others me's. Like, she kept us in line. Like, my brothers and I talked about this a while back. Like, if if my mother wasn't there and we were only raised by our father, do you know how wild we would be? Man,
I don't want to think about it.
I was like, that would be
Yeah, don't.
like, do you know how ridiculous I would be?
How
Anyway.
much more ridiculous? No, exactly.
So I'm not gonna say strong. She's capable.
You said, "Don't you dare say strong."
yep.
And the thing is, it's like you don't have to say strong. You could say everything else. She's a mother. She's a wife.
Did what she
like,
had to do.
Yeah,
like
she had no choice.
and a lot of it, like,
listen, she protected the world from us.
Yeah, it's like putting extra emphasis on stuff that, like, because we do our job. Like, that's just it. Like, forget the whole strong stuff. Like, we do our job. You give us a job to do, we're gonna do it. You tell us to produce, we're gonna produce. We're going to get the job done. Exactly. And everyone will just be like, "Oh, y'all so strong." Like, use another word.
You know, I just thought of this. And once again, it's not giving any excuses for anyone, but it's just a curiosity. I wonder if it's because a lot of men see in y'all what they wish they saw in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, just as far as like that strength is concerned. Am I too left field? Because Michaela made a wild face. I don't think I've ever seen her make that face at anything I've said.
It reminds me of this like tweet I saw, something about someone was like, my dad said some guys have seen their mom go through the mud, so they expect you to do the same or something like that. It kind of like reminds me of that. Like, they're like, well, my mom did all that, so you should do it too. And it's just like,
no. I would never say anything like that. I'm saying, huh?
I was like, I know you wouldn't say that, but like, that is a thought, like along the lines of strong, like, oh, I want a strong woman in my life or to be my counterpart. So I want to see you go through the mud, just like my mom went through the mud. Like,
yeah, I can see why that would come up in your mind with me saying that, because I think what I'm wondering about is kind of so obscure.
No, I think I know. I believe I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna say, I believe that, again, the same way that like the strong woman thing, I feel and know comes from like trickle down of slavery. It's the same thing with that with men, because men were broken during that time, and strong men were broke. So we're gonna break the strong out of you. Why? Because if you don't see yourself as strong, if you don't see yourself as a leader, if you don't see yourself as capable, like, you'll never rise up to beat me. Yeah. So that's where I feel like that comes from.
Yeah.
You gotta go back and dig up those roots.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say the same thing, right? Like, it is that like the strength that, you know, men wish they had, but there's some credence to that. Is that because of an effect of, you know, what society has done to, you know, Black men as well? Because I mean, I think, you know, we understand, you know, taking Black men out of the households. We understand, you know, women having to step up because their Black men were dead in jail or, you know, wherever they were at. So it is that, you know, them seeing their mothers or, you know, or other women in their life step up because they had to.
Yeah. I'm yeah, you both got it. There's still some things that's kind of just like rattling in my head, which is kind of, it's like low-key distracting me, because it's so also like, I think there's an element of how well, it was more so Black people, period, that kind of had this issue. But I saw Black women fixing it earlier than I saw Black men, and that has to deal with mental health. Like the ways we've been taught to be who we are, the ways that we've been taught to process our feelings and emotions. Like men really aren't, at least the men of, well, I said our generation, me and Chris, we weren't really taught how to deal with our emotions properly. You know what I'm saying? So at least for me, now here I am, 38 years old, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And I feel like I'm doing a decent job, but still there's a lot of stuff that comes up, and I'm like, all right, where's that coming from? I got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? And so because of generations of bad teaching, because of things like what happened in slavery and families being broken and women just having to step up and kind of take on, so much. And like this is just so much dysfunction that we learn, even without being like overtly taught it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so we're just trying to figure it out. Yeah, there was another question that I was going to ask, but then y'all are giving me a lot to deal with right now. I did not expect to have to, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here thinking, all right, we're going to have this conversation. It's needed. I'm good. I'm straight. I ain't finna learn
what
nothing.
I'm supposed to do.
You know what I'm saying? I protect Black women, so I'm good. And then I'm over here like, but I'm still broken.
This is a group project, Lawrence. You know how group projects go. You could be doing your part, but if no one else does their part, failure. All of
it.
Yeah, group. That's not a good example, because in group projects, I was the one that wasn't doing my part.
And that's why you're getting all of it right now. That's why I have your back.
Oh wait, I forgot my mom's watching. I did my work. Mom. Nah, she knows. She saw my report card. She knows.
So let's speak on this, right? I'm gonna throw a little, I guess, monkey wrench, right, in the last few minutes we got here. Speak to, I guess, what we're calling now misogynoir. And
what?
Oh, you haven't heard? Okay, so it's basically misogyny against Black women.
Okay.
So
you didn't just make that up?
No, that's a Twitter word.
Oh wow! So say it again.
Misogynoir. So instead of misogyny, misogynoir.
Noir, like black. Okay. Gotcha. Got it. Okay. Took me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough word.
Yeah. So
I was like, black massages? We getting massages? What?
Nah, come back. I wanted to hear what you was going with that. I just got confused.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we hear about misogyny as a whole, right? But like, and it's funny. So this comes from, I had a conversation with a friend of mine some time back. This is when the No Name stuff happened with No Name and J. Cole, which was kind of interesting. So I had a conversation, right? And basically everything. So basically, there is no way a man, the way it was framed to me is, there is no way a man can't be misogynist. And especially with Black men, Black men, Black women, misogynoir, it's just a different term for it. And there is no benefit to the Black man to uplift the Black woman. So I guess just spitballing, what are your thoughts on those?
But can I ask for clarification?
What kind of clarification?
You said you said there's no benefit for black men to do what for black women?
To uplift the black women.
And that's
That
was that
is
coming from a man or a woman?
a woman.
Black
Meaning,
wait,
yes. So meaning a black man gains nothing from uplifting a black woman. Like whether they do it or not, they don't really lose or gain anything.
Okay. I get what she is saying.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do not agree with what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now the reason why I get what she is saying, not about, all men are misogynists or whatever, but that's because that goes towards feminine values that I don't agree with. And I will be the first woman to say that I don't agree with all feminist values. So there, I said it. But that's one of them. And I think that comes from, we're not going to get into it. I'm not going to go into it. Nope. But about what you wanted me to go, I mean, it comes from values that were picked up that go along again with the system of we're looking at everything through the white lens
Mm-hmm.
and not from a lens of like truth and reality, like like basing everything on the white man's playing field. Like, so we then pick up some of those values and we say, yeah, and then we attribute it to like, it's the same for all men. It doesn't matter. Black men, it's the same for you. And, not realizing that if we actually get back to who we are and our values that we have as a Black community, like we'll see that there is a lot to gain if we work together. And there is a lot for a Black man to gain if he uplifts a Black woman. Again, going back to what I was saying about like, you give us a tomato, we can make a whole feast. Like you do what you got to do. So for a Black man, if you want to get somewhere, get a Black woman on your team. President Obama talks about it all the time. He always would talk about how he would not be who he was if it was not for Michelle.
So now, is that the Black woman uplifting the Black man? So we see everywhere where people benefit from the Black women.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I guess, yeah. So where does the Black woman benefit?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna
We
go.
don't know because we ain't seen it yet.
I was gonna say, rarely, if anything, we get any benefits. We're always the last to get any benefits out of anything, even if it's something a Black man is doing. The white man and white woman usually benefit first and the most before a Black woman gets anything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
She usually gets kicked to the curb and replaced by a white woman or a white man after she's done all the heavy lifting.
I mean, yeah.
And yeah, just to agree with Ariel, like, I get what that woman was saying. And it goes back to like the power structure, right? Like, you want power, you're going to go align yourself with the white man and possibly the white woman because they have the most power. You're not going to go look at the Black woman and be like, yeah, we're going to make it to the top. But I guarantee you, if you align yourself with a Black woman, you will make it to the top because she will work nonstop hard for you. And at this point, Black women are like, well, we got to have each other's back because no one else has our backs. And then you're going to get a whole team of Black women on your side and you will take over the world if that's what you want.
So I guess to wrap up my line of questioning. So in this year, right, there's that whole No Name situation. We know what that was about, J. Cole and so on and so forth. Then there was, the Toyin situation where she was killed. And then there was some other ones, and then there was Breonna. Like in this, like, so this has been a super heavy year for Black women and in the Black, at least out in the forefront where we could see it. You know what I mean? Like, speak to, I guess, where your mind state has been through those, issues and those events.
This it actually leads me to one that I wanted to talk about, and I know she's not black, but even the Cardi B deciding to divorce her husband.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
the
and,
comment.
and before that, right? The lady in, I think it was Jersey, who had to get protected because her neighbors were harassing her.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. But like in thinking about like all of these situations, how it's just so ingrained to degrade um black women and go to the negative, or even women of color, and go to the negative comments. So like for instance, when I saw and the reason why I brought up the Cardi B situation is Cardi B divorced her husband for constantly doing her wrong, and she basically got the she asked for it treatment. Like, what did you expect? You can't make a whole housewife. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure he was the one.
He is the housewife.
The one who was trying to be made a exactly trying to be made a housewife, like, and was out there being, Ho Hoington. So, and again, like we do, she took him back. She was like, this is still my husband. We're gonna work through it, all that kind of stuff. And he still was not acting right. So she finally was like, peace out, I'm out of here. And she gets the backlash. Like, it's usually no win, which is terrible because, like, man, like we just want to live, y'all. Like, we just want a little bit of respect. We want those black massages, and we want love and respect. Like, that's what we want. You hear me? This is
the black massages.
We want them black massages. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a little bit of love and a little bit of respect, and not always being treated again like the stereotype that comes from slave mentality. I will just keep saying it over and over and over again, that it comes from a history of saying that women, that whole aspect of like women, black women in particular, are hoes and are loose and all sort of kind of stuff, comes because slave masters were raping black women and saying that's because this is their nature. It's their nature to be to ask for it. It's their nature to be animalistic. These things are still ingrained in us, and it has to die. It has to die. And it has, and I'm very, I know Lawrence and Chris probably know, because I'm very like, listen, do unto others. Like, I stand by that. I stand by reciprocation. If you want me to do for you, please do for me. Like, let's do for each other, because that's how we're gonna make it. But if it's you're always negativing me and you expect me to be positive towards you, like, no. Because if it were the other way around and it came out, because this happens, because I hear this one all the time as well, when it's like when the woman is the one who steps out of line. And they're like, oh, you see, oh, that man was just trying to be a good man. He was just trying to take care of his family, and she was out tipping and dipping. Like,
be doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, like, but he was such a good man. Oh yeah.
Tipping and dipping's hilarious.
Tipping and dipping. Like, it's it can't be that way. If it's going to be that we are all going to rise in this time, the same way we know that, we're always going to be on the front line. We're always going to be there protecting, but we just need that reciprocation. We need it back. We need, when, yeah, it was sad that, there wasn't as much push for Breonna's case, and it took as long as it did just to get the little bit of injustice that we ended up getting, or a lot of injustice, but the little bit of quote unquote here, like, here's your little bit of justice that we got. Like, shouldn't have taken that long. It shouldn't have taken that long, you know. And so the same way we flood the streets for our men were asking you, please flood the streets for us as well, because I'm gonna let y'all know a secret. If we go out, you go out, because it's the Black woman who bears a Black son.
So, yeah.
Gunshots. Gunshots. Dang, that was a mic drop.
That was a mic drop.
That was a mic drop. I wanted to ask a question real quick. And Ariel, what you were just saying may be your answer for it already. Because it goes back to what Chris was talking about with the Black massages.
I'm sick of y'all. I'm so sick of
y'all. With the mahogany massages. And but specifically,
see? That's why the Lord took your tongue.
He was like, "Oh, you gonna play with it?"
Light it up.
But no, specifically with the point about the Black men benefiting from supporting Black women. As women, what would you like to receive from Black men in that situation? And if that question doesn't make sense, just let me know.
Well, you said for benefit.
Yeah. So like if Chris, what was the quote you said again? You said there's no.
So there's no benefit to a Black man to uplift a Black woman.
But maybe I mixed it up. You said there's no benefit to a Black man to uplift a Black woman. And then we were talking about Black men that do uplift Black women, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then I believe Michaela was saying that it's still there's still no benefit to her. I mean, to the woman. Okay. So in your opinion, what would you want to see that benefit? Like, how would you want to see that benefit? I don't think I asked that question correctly.
I think I understand.
Okay.
What benefits do I want to reap for uplifting Black men?
Yes. Thank you, Black women, for understanding me.
Honestly, like, just reciprocation. Like, because a lot of times Black men are not uplifting Black women, or when Black women are like calling out Black men for doing something, Black men will be the first one to be like, nah, you wrong. Nah, we just need to focus on being a community. Nah, that wasn't, you misunderstood him. He didn't say what you think he said. Like, I need you to have my back and support me the way I supported you. When you said that whatever happened, I was like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. I got your back. What you said happened, and I believe you. As opposed to Black women, I say something and they be like, nah, that didn't happen. Nah, are you sure? There's some details missing from this story. Did you do something? Are you sure you didn't do anything? Like, I just want you to, like, believe me, have my back, like, respect me, respect what I'm saying. Be willing to give up your power, because you don't really have any, to protect me. Wow. Give up your power to give some to me so I can help us both.
Give up some of your little bit of power you think you got.
Right. You ain't really got.
But yeah, just like it's literally like that's the bare minimum. Like, I'm not asking to be a millionaire or to run the country. Like, I'm asking for the bare minimum, I feel like.
See, there you go. See? FBI trying to shut me down.
You know what I mean? The feds don't want to hear about Black women.
Oh, Jesus.
Telling you.
Listen.
Black women get free. We overrunning this whole thing.
You think Black women can get me a better webcam?
We could.
Good.
Listen, they kicked me all off. Like I had to go and come back in. So
That is true. They really did.
This thing got me shucking and jiving.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that-
I'm gonna shut my camera off, but I'm still here.
No, that's fine. I think that for like what Anthony said it best, actually. Anthony said it in the comments.
What did he say?
He said Aretha's been saying it since the 60s, you know.
Respect. Yes.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of respect, you know.
Just a teach of respect.
Just
a
teach.
teach.
You know, just sprinkle it on there. Just a little bit of respect. You know, respect us for who we are, respect us for what we bring to the table. Like Michaela said, don't try to, you know, discredit what I'm saying because I'm a Black woman. Like, listen to what I have to say. We know we're not dumb. We are very intelligent. Like, listen to us. Especially when it comes to our issues, what's going on with us. Listen to us about us. We know the way. We can show you. And then, you know, more than that, more than just like with the respect, like see us as worthy. I feel like it's, you know, in respect to Chris and Lawrence, like, and Anthony and my cousin Chris and like and Clevin, the guys who have been watching this, I know that you all do respect Black women and see us as worthy. But know that, you know, we are worth being, you know, that support system, being that rock. I think that there's been this weird narrative that goes around about, you know, Black women don't listen, Black women to this, Black women to that. That's why nobody's picking the Black woman, you know, that, because we didn't touch on that, but I'm bringing it up, you know, like that's why Black women aren't chosen. And unfortunately,
that's part two.
That's a whole another part. Like, we are the highest in single women. Like, it's the Black woman. Like, marriage is very low for us because a lot of the times we're not seen as worthy, even though we do the most. So see us for our worth. We're worth it. I said it on my my Facebook. If you follow me, I said the price went up, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, the price don't went up. So
We're worth falling on the sword for.
see us, yes.
I know that's right.
See us, yes, for our word.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we can kind of wrap it there. Thank you very much, Michaela. Thank you, Ariel. Even though, you know, you're part of the team, so you're supposed to be here anyway. But still,
I could have been up there.
Yeah, you could have. And hold on, let me see. Hopefully, my camera's not gonna keep wilding out.
Forget it.
Okay. Well,
I could have been sleeping in my bed, not in my grave. But
look at my joint went and turned itself off.
oh no.
I add something.
But
You not replace us with people you think are better than us once you know get to where you're supposed to be. We help you get to where we're supposed to be. I want to reap the benefits of you at the top, like I did when you were at the bottom or in the
And when he get on, he leave you for a white girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally, I don't even understand that move, because, man, never mind. I'm not. It's about y'all. It ain't about me.
That's part 3.
I promise it'll be worth it if you keep us at the top. I'm telling you.
Man. So anyway, what I was gonna say from the shadows, for you guys that can't see me anymore, like I'm really appreciative of these two women on here right now. They're like little sisters to me. I give Michaela a lot of grief. Anyone that follows us both on social media, especially on Twitter, will see me giving her a lot of problems.
Yep.
But she knows it's my nature. Being a jerk is my love language. But you know, she's always been someone that if I ever needed to for anything, I can trust and rely on her. Because if for no other reason, she supports Black men. And
I got
and,
receipts.
and Ariel, even with being a part of this business, like the Link Media period, like Ariel has always been there to help me in anything that I've ever needed. I a lot of times I've told women just in personal conversations, it would be good for you to have a man in your in some of your group chats to kind of balance it out. These are two of the women that are in my group chats because I need them for when I'm wilding. So, and also in Michaela, in good fashion of supporting a Black man, she's wearing my T-shirt.
Hey.
Shut
They
up
still
and work.
available for sale?
It is. I was actually going to take them off the site, but I just never got around to doing it. So if you do want to also support Black business and a Black man that wants to support Black women, you can go to my site and buy one. And Ariel is wearing her own T-shirt.
Wow.
Designed by a Black man. So if you want to support Black women, go to her website, arielchanel.com, and buy you
Sell
some
out
shirts.
her website, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Sell that out. Because then I'd be
Because Black women, we produce when you give us something to produce with. I can make more music and I could do more things if you tell everybody. Throw money at me. I could give y'all some more stuff. I want to give it back to you.
Yes. More stuff that's helped built by Black men supporting Black women.
Yeah. Just throw money at her so that some will like reflect off of her onto me.
Yep.
And I can be supported by a Black woman that's not catching all the money, so I can catch some. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the fact that y'all like people can't see me no more. But yeah, it's late. We're past our time. Thank you again, Michaela. Did you want to have any last words? Or wait, did you already give a final?
I can give one now.
Okay, go ahead.
So, final thoughts: ways to protect Black women. Don't discredit what they say. Believe what they tell you. If one of your homies is acting a fool, please call them out. And financially support them. Buy their businesses. Buy them lunch. Cash App a Black woman $5 tomorrow.
Now, $5 can't get you nothing on lunch.
Right here.
Send the 20.
Nowhere to start.
Yes. Cash App a Black woman $20.
Right here. You need to know where to
start. She'll probably get you back later, or she'll be like, "Come to lunch with me with the $20 that you gave her." And if you want to know how you can be less misogynistic, you can read books. Bell Hooks is a really good person to read. Toni Morrison. You can hit my DM. I will give you some things to read.
Yeah, that's good. Ariel, you can get an extra final thought since you're pulling double duty.
I heard this quote and I liked it. The future is Black and the future is woman.
Yes.
Y'all can't see me, but I'm nodding my head. In solid. I just realized I forgot my camera was off. I'm just nodding away. I like that. I like women in my future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Michaela, how can people follow you if you'd like them to?
You can follow me on Twitter. My content is a wide range, a little bit ratchet, a little bit spiritual, a little bit pro-Black. It's Mickey_Mac32. And that's on Instagram as well.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, everyone that's watching. Thank you, everyone in the chat. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. and we will see you next week.
Hi, guys.
Later.
Deuces.
Or not. There we go.